Welcome to episode 1 of the Jackie Chan series collection thing, Compodium review series thing. In this episode, I'm going to talk about the first Police Story movie, which is arguably the most popular Jackie Chan film, especially the most popular of his Hong Kong films. And yeah, it's a very popular cult Hong Kong action movie. But in general, to kind of introduce this series over the multiple various lockdowns we experienced over the last year, whatever it was, almost exactly a year now, I have been watching as many Jackie Chan films as I can because it's fun and it's been interesting. And now I'm going to make a review series, doing a review of each film that I watched and others as I watched them. I initially was going to do one long video, which I did record lots of segments for, but it's just I don't have enough time to edit it that way, so instead I'm doing a kind of series of reviews that will just be 5 minutes-ish per film. But yes, so moving on to Police Story. Police Story is one of the films that boosted Jackie Chan's stardom and showed off the kind of fight choreography that he'd go on to almost own a monopoly of, with the modern settings like malls and shopping centres and more modern action scenes than your usual Hong Kong film, which would be ancient China or just an undisclosed time in the past, with wire work and mystical elements, whereas these kind of Jackie Chan and John Woo horror films, these Jackie Chan and John Woo Hong Kong films would be set in modern places with more modern action set pieces. Police Story has 3 great action scenes of note. The famous stunt included in the last of these 3, which is set in a shopping centre, which is one of the most exciting 15-minute long sequences in a film, and especially in one of these Jackie Chan films, it's a really great sequence. Another is the opening car chase, slum destruction madness that was homage to in Michael Bay's masterpiece Bad Boys 2. And there's also a mid-action scene that has some pretty impressive stunt work that looks very painful. Now, generally the film overall is, I think, remembered because it has a great mix of both action and story. A lot of these films don't have a great story, they just have good action, and so in between the gaps you sometimes can get quite bored. But with Police Story that doesn't happen because it's actually a well-written film and has a very coherent and entertaining plot that kind of strings you along and kind of has almost an Oscar baity scene in it, which it just adds to the more dramatic element of it and makes it feel like a more fully rounded film. But my camera's going to die, so this is I'll end this here. This is the first episode of the Jackie Chan series. I will go into more detail on future ones, but Police Story is very famous and any Jackie Chan fan definitely needs to see it, and yeah, I highly recommend it. I give it a 8 out of 10.